Do you know how important it is to have a regulated nervous system? Because I'm learning about it considering I wrecked mine. How do you recover from burnout? Hey, I'm Maham, and most of you know me, but for those of you that don't, I run a studio, I work on creative projects, I give talks, I illustrate, I research, I travel, I host things. I just do a lot with my time. And a few months ago, I realized that between all of that, I started genuinely losing time for myself. You've all heard the story of Icarus, have you not? The unfortunate young man who flew too close to the sun. Well, in this case, Icarus flew close to the sun. I camped on there, and I thought this was fine. I really thought this was fine. And this is essentially what wrecked my nervous system. So let me break it down for you a little bit. I had completely wrecked my nervous system, and I didn't even know that I did. I just thought I was tired or lazy or that I needed more sleep, which is true, but it wasn't the whole picture. Life had just started to feel very overly full and noisy, almost like just to make sure I was doing all the things I was doing, I started behaving like I was on autopilot. Too much tech, too many notifications, too much stimulation, and always being reachable. After a while, you stop asking yourself why you're doing those things. You just get up and do them. So your nervous system works in two gears: high gear and low gear. High gear being when you're stressed, when you're high energy, when you're working on things. Low gear being when you're actually relaxed and giving yourself a break. When you keep switching between gears or stay in a high gear for too long, you're essentially getting yourself stuck. But here's the thing no one tells you about a dysregulated nervous system and the burnout that creeps up on you. It doesn't look that way on the outside, because on the outside, you're crushing it. You're doing all the right things, you're achieving things, you're finishing projects, you're doing great. So why would anyone, including yourself, think that you need to slow down? That's probably the last thing on your mind. We have this whole concept of people scrolling on social media for quick dopamine fixes. And it's true, it's not good. But at the same time, those quick dopamine fixes aren't always just scrolling on social media. They're focusing on the next 10 tasks when you haven't even gotten to the first one yet. They're no longer doing things that you once enjoyed because you enjoy them, but instead doing them because you want to prove that you're able to do something. You have to ask yourself, what is the point of working so hard if you don't get a chance to breathe and enjoy the life you're building as a creative? But the good thing is there are ways to fix it. There's this comic by this artist I really like called The Oatmeal, where he compares creativity to breathing, and when you exhale, that is the act of creating. But the issue is that when you continuously exhale and don't really inhale, you end up dying because you actually do need to breathe. What is taking time off for a creative? Is it drawing for yourself and staying up late to finish personal projects? Or is it taking time away from the whole creative process and just being a regular human? So I stepped back for a bit. I flew out, took a few weeks, slowed down, and gave myself some distance from everything. And honestly, that space helped me much more than I expected. I started going on walks more, spending time in nature, sleeping properly, waking up when the sun was out, seeing friends. I even ditched my pesky smartwatch. I've still been doing the most amazing things with the studio. I've still been working. I've still been learning more. I've still been reading books. Yes, it's the morning after I recorded the rest of the video and I realized I didn't put this shot in, so it's different. I know. On the topic of reading, a friend of mine who I actually traveled with during my break gave me these two books. So the first book, The Relaxed Woman, it's pretty funny. My friend actually picked this up just because she saw the cover and she thought it was something that I needed to read. Hobbes talks about the different archetypes we have, and the conclusion is that the way we treat ourselves really stems from how we view ourselves. And the interesting thing is that stems from how we've seen other people in our lives treat themselves. So the wonderful thing about this is that if you end up treating yourself better, someone is going to see you do it and end up treating themselves better. I would probably gift a copy of this to every man or woman in my life if I could. Book number 2 is The Hidden Messages in Water. It's a book that she enjoyed very much, and it's one that she wanted me to read as well. In this book, Dr. Emoto takes you through his study of water and crystal structures. And it shows that when you treat a structure nicely, when you say nice words to it, when you're kind to it, when you play nice music around it, the structures actually form beautiful crystal. And when you do the opposite, they don't. he tried different words in different languages and they all showed different results. And what this taught me is that the way I speak to myself and about myself really makes an impact, you know? When you're tired and you're telling yourself you're just lazy as opposed to, oh, I've worked hard today, I actually deserve some time off, imagine the impact that has on you, considering we as humans are 70% liquids. I've been doing everything, but I've just been doing it at my own pace. I got plants and a weird water fountain too. I cannot stress how important it is to enjoy the process of what you're doing, because if you're just focused on the outcome, and not even the outcome, but the outcome of the next thing you haven't even started working on to make sure that you're doing enough in a given period of time, then what are you doing? Stop.